All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Learning the Process podcast.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. We are your host. I'm Yanko Perez.
And I'm Ramos.
And just to recap, well, it's a podcast where we talk about our personal growth, our development, and the steps that it takes to achieve your goals. My partner Marcos and I, we have been on a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. And we feel that with our experiences, we can share our journey in where we're deciding where we want to go and ultimately end up and share that with you. So for those of you that don't know, I'm an actor. And my process started in 2005. I was already at an age where I was questioning myself as to what I wanted to do with my life. I've already, for some years, was basically operating under fight or flight. I was just trying to survive. In 2005, I said, what do I really want to do with myself? And for many of us, especially in our community, we don't pursue our passion. We don't do what we really truly love and what inside of us burns us to truly fulfill our desire and our need. So I decided I'm going to be an actor. Now, mind you, I have no idea. I had no idea. I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have any mentorship. So thank God for the internet. And it was a quick search, acting classes. And from one step to another, I said, if this is what I have to do, then this is what I'm going to do. And there's no turning back. So I decided to take some acting classes. I found out how difficult it was to be an actor. All the homework you have to do, all the preparation. And I asked myself, can I really do this? And I did. I said, yes, I can do this. I don't know why I shouldn't be able to do this. I can do this. And from there, acting classes and going on auditions, which, let me tell you, very difficult to get. But you just got to stay on course, stay on the path, and just push through. I did a lot of background work where I got to see how the industry operates from an actor's perspective, being on set, seeing how the main actors, they carry themselves, the directors, director of photography, the DP. You have to take all of that in because all of that is homework, which then prepares you when you finally get that audition where you have speaking lines, you have a speaking role. You now know how to conduct yourself. But that wasn't the final product. There still took many years of going to acting school and honing, perfecting your craft, which no one ever really perfects their craft because while you're on the journey of learning your craft, you always learn something that you didn't know. And when you think you know it all, that's when you have to keep lurking and searching to know more. With that being said, I started networking with other actors and finding out where other acting opportunities were. And as an actor, sometimes and many times, you have to act for free. You have to do a student film. You have to do a community play. You have to do off Broadway plays, which pay $0 to $25. But you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because you're chasing your passion. You're chasing your dream. And that's one thing that I said. I said, I'm not going to do this for the end result of being paid. I'm going to do it because I want to learn the craft and be the best actor that I can be. Now, ultimately, yes, we all need some type of financial benefit to be able to sustain our life. We do live in a capitalist environment, society, which you need. And money allows other people to be able to chase their dreams and their passion, you know? So the end result for me would be to be a paid actor, a consistently working actor. And that would be the end result. And that's where I am right now. I'm still going on auditions. I'm still, networking. I'm still doing films for free. I'm still doing theater for free because I love doing it. But the end result is to be a consistently paid actor. And that right there was the process of my journey as an actor and where I'm going to continue to go. Marcos, what was your process?
That's awesome. As Yanko mentioned, his goal is acting. The strange part is that I come from managing a studio. Uh, my title was stage manager, so I was able to manage a 65-acre movie lot with like 30 stages in Brooklyn. And like he mentioned, it's very hard to get a gig because I tended to put his
Resume and headshot.
resume and headshots so he could get gigs, and it's just very tough. Now, while I was working in this studio, Uncle knows me for many years, and me and him, when we were younger, we always went to the gym together. This place called Big Gym in the neighborhood. Very old school looking kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger type gym. Very rusty metal, very old traditional ways. Like everything is just like raw and hardcore. Me and Yanko used to always work out together, and the main thing that I acknowledge about myself as we were working out together is that I always led. I always used to come in with extreme enthusiasm about a new workout, a new way to train, a new way to engage the muscles, and just scaling and always going to the next level. So that I could say was kind of like I could see in myself that I enjoyed this too much, enjoyed it a lot because I was very extreme about it. And as I started working in this place in Steiner Studios, a co-worker of mine, Andrew Goodman, he mentioned, "Yo, man, why don't you just become a trainer, bro? Because you like, we work out with you and you kind of lead all the time. This is it's kind of like seems like something is part of your characteristics." And I was like, really? Like that? I went online, I started Google searching, what is it to take to be a personal trainer, and then I found this certification called ISSA. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And at the time, I was making some good money working for Steiner Studios. Oh, I didn't mean to say that, but for the studio. And pretty much, I got my certification. I worked many hours at nighttime. So during the night, while people were filming, I would hit the office and I would just study. You could say from 7 to like 12 p.m. And I would just work, studying. And then, I finally got 6 months, 7 months later, I got a certification. And it gave me a better idea how to train. I was like, oh snap, I had this all wrong, bro. It's just ways of engaging your muscles. There's ways, there's specific scientific ways of really getting more bang for your training. And I was like, this is awesome, yo. I can't wait to teach people or express my new knowledge. And of course, I went in with my friends, went ham on them. Some of them didn't work out with me no more because it was just too much. I was too excited about what I knew, and their body wasn't ready for it. And then after a while, I kind of kept learning what it is to be a trainer. And then I decided, like, okay, you know what? This can't be enough because, even though, I've been training for years, I'm not really transforming. It's like, yeah, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting more muscles, but how do you get like these people that are so defined? And then I started studying the nutrition part of it. So then I got my fitness nutrition from ISSA. And then I started really understanding how nutrition plays a key role. As time passed, the world was changing, organic stuff started coming in, and I was like, yo, you know what? I don't just want to be like physically fit. I want to have a better quality of life. I don't want to be in suffering. Mind you, while I was training, I was eating like crap, thinking that eating this certain way was gonna fuel the goal I wanted. So that didn't work out, and that's what really led me to understanding nutrition. But it was deeper than that because not all nutrition is equal. Then I took another certification called Primal Health Coach. And the Primal Health Coach certification I was able to understand the quality of food, the quality of training. It's not just about exercising, but exercising that benefits me genetically. And I was like, oh man, yeah, this is what's up. And I got really hooked in. And I was to do this 24/7. I was infatuated. I was really going in on this fitness training stuff. And then as time passed, I kept working where I was working at, but I will do my side gig. I finally started, implementing these skills, these certifications, and all that outside in the world. So I started getting clients, started training them, and slowly but surely, as I was training these clients, I started learning better ways. And not just that, what I really started learning is the client. What does the client need? Understanding the client's genetic. What was their strong point? Some people have big backs, strong, powerful backs with very skinny legs. And I was like, all right, how can I help you get to a specific goal? But be realistic about it, because genes play a role. You can't just look however you want. Look at somebody online. I want to look like that person. It doesn't work like that. Your genes play a role. What you physically look like that you inherited is how you have to evolve. You have to evolve from what you already are. And yes, you can manipulate certain things, but you know you're limited to how far you go in your body. So for me, example, I genetically have a big back, so it's very easy for me to do rolls and you know reverse flies. My back just grows, no problem. But my legs, I get the chicken legs, so I really hit these joints, I hit them hard as much as possible, and they grow so little, and I hit them so hard. You know what I'm saying? So genetically, it's because of that. My family, just how they look. Uncles have thin forearms, skinny legs, father, everyone, the whole script, all the men. I'm like, okay, but I have bigger legs than them now because I manipulated my genes. So I'm getting there, I'm growing. Slowly but surely it's happening. So I've learned to understand my clients. I learned who they are and really, give the clients what they want. And more importantly, give the clients a quality of life. Not just about what you look like in a mirror, but that you're actually healthy, that you're actually mobile. You know what I'm saying? That you actually are progressing. So there is a trackable progression happening. So I got really infatuated with teaching all my clients this. And today to this day, this is where I'm at. Uh, I train in many gyms, different areas from cardio, kickboxing. I do one-on-one training. I have my own online fitness training business. I do transformation challenges the last 12 weeks. That does great for me. I actually get a lot of my testimonies from the transformation challenges, and which is great. People change no matter what age level you come from. It's just it's something for everyone. But my main goal now, after all this is said and done, I actually just want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur in the fitness business. I want to have a brick and mortar store of fitness. I want to scale my online business and get people from everywhere training with me. I have clients that have been in Italy and they just go online with me and I train them online. Dominican Republic, Florida, and different places. So I learned that there's so many different platforms on how you can uh, get income. But before the income, when I started this, I really wanted the income. And I learned that that's not how. I learned that that didn't work. I was always trying to figure out how I could get money, money, money. What can I say? How can I say it? How can I convince this person? But then I started focusing on the person and being of service. And once I started being of service, that's when I really started getting clients because I really started caring. How can I help this person if they really want to be helped? And also pay attention. Who can I help? Are they really helpable? You know what I'm saying? Do they really actually want help, or they just having this short term want, but it's not long term. So I learned these things on who to get, who can I help, what's my niche, and the goal is right now is to have multiple business. And so far, my platform is in health and fitness, but I'm also a property manager, so I wear many hats. And you never know, maybe it will go in towards that direction in property management. So that's pretty much where I'm at today.
Question: what would be your advice to someone that wants to professionally be a personal trainer? What would be your advice for someone that wants to do it professionally? What would be their first step after having the idea of wanting to be a personal trainer? What's your advice?
Well, first things first, what worked for me was that I started training myself. I became my own guinea pig. and see what is this, does it work? I love doing it. So being that I love doing it so much and I understand myself, I'm like, hey, this is beneficial. I saw the benefits in my own body. I had like uh my L4 and L5 was like rubbed out and I barely could walk. I reached a point where I couldn't walk, and I came from like sports background. So I started really learning things about how to heal myself. And the healing of myself is what really, really drove me to understand. So if a person wants to be in this business, they should start with themselves. First, be your own guinea pig. Try new things. See what works. See what doesn't work. Learn the different strategies. Educate yourself. There's so many platforms and so many certifications. That's a great way to start because you get a better understanding of how this works. Now, it's very sciencey, and you got to really geek out with that information. It takes time. Like, I'm no genius, and my memory is not that great, so I take a lot of notes and have to reread things 1,000 times. But you have to like get these certifications. It's going to be a process of getting them and learning these stuff. If you got a great memory, then it's better for you. uh but yeah, get certifications, and there's so many certifications you could get. Choose the one that best fits what you're trying to do. If it's your criteria of what kind of trainer you want to be, for who you want to be a trainer for. It could be for the youth, it could be for the elders, it could be different genres. It could be, some people train just uh uh you know, women who just came from giving birth. So it depends on where your aim is.
Mm-hmm. True, true, true. Now, what would be your advice for someone that is trying to grow their biceps, but no matter how hard they hit it, their biceps never grow?
Yeah, I know somebody like that. Well, number one thing that I tell this person, because I know who you're talking about, uh, is I tell them, like, stop comparing your biceps to the dude across whose biceps are lit. Because that person genetically has the his body just genetically grows biceps like nothing. Like, some people just grow biceps, and some people have different kinds of genetics where their biceps just won't grow as big as that person you're looking at. So the only thing you can do is get specific exercises, because most exercises you do in bicep help your bicep grow, and there's many ways of training them. You could train to failure. You could do progressive overload. You could focus on how you call it, hypertrophy, really getting it to burn and staying in that burn as long as you can. And the more it burns, the longer you stay in it, the greater your body, your muscles will tear up and stimulate, and then you can create more growth from that. There's so many ways and strategies of growing in different exercises, right? And consistency. On top of it all is consistency. Just stay consistent and making peace with your genetics.
Very true, very true. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
and unfortunately for me, it's not where I want to be. But like you said, stay consistent. But here's another question, which is something that a lot of people struggle with: losing weight. What would be your advice to someone who knows they have to lose weight, but for some reason they just can't get themselves to do the necessary steps? What would be your advice for taking the first step to losing weight?
All right. Yeah. That's definitely a challenging one. For most clients, it's easier to get them to work out than it is to get them to lose weight. What I've learned in my life is that weight loss is very emotional. It has to do with your mindset and your emotions. A lot of people, uh, they get eat comfort food. Mm. So they eat based on their feelings. Sometimes the food for the body, right? But not the body for food. Mm. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to eat what you need to eat, not eat because you just want to eat. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. In the world that we live in today, everything stimulates this hunger. Like, every time I sit by the TV, I just start getting hungry. Start watching TV a certain amount of hours, I start getting hungry. I'm like, yo, bro, I just ate. But it's the TV. TV stimulating this emotion that I'm like, yo, eating right now with this is gonna be lit right now. This is what you need. You gotta get that popcorn. You gotta get 2 pints of ice cream. You know you like Netflix with the 2 pints. Now, do it, do it. Yo, fighting that is tough. Fighting that is tough. People normally emotionally eat. It's an emotional response to overeating. Now, if a person wants to lose weight, you better be mindful of that. Emotional eating. What's triggering you to eat? To lose weight is very simple. All you need to do is be in a calorie deficit. While you're in a calorie deficit, right, which means that the energy you're expending out of your body has to be higher than the energy that's coming into your body, right? And you balance it out with a macro balance. So protein, carbs, and fat. You balance that out. While you're in a deficit, you'll be able to keep your muscles while you're losing body fat, which is stored energy. Stored energy, that's what body fat is. So you'll force your body to use that stored energy and keep a balance, you know, balanced meals. Like I said, protein, fats, and carbs. Balance that out. Protein being the highest. Carbs being kind of like a filler. I use that as like a pre-workout plus my fibrous vegetables. You know what I'm saying? And then your fat has to be like probably at the lowest, but at a good decent level because fat is gives you a great hormonal response. It's brain food. It triggers certain things that's very important. So you need fat in your body. Uh, so that being said, and resistance training. Resistance training, not high intense cardio. High intense cardio is not going to promote fat loss. Resistance training will promote fat loss because you need to be able to build your body armor. Your body armor is your muscles, and you need that to lose the weight. So the more you're triggering your muscles, the greater you will trigger fat loss.
Very interesting. Listen, that's way more than what I knew. I just thought do cardio. Cardio, 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 and you should lose weight. But I don't have a problem gaining weight or losing it. One more question, because you're very knowledgeable in what you do. What would be your advice to someone who doesn't work out? What would be their first step to getting into a routine of just doing some type of physical activity?
All right, that's awesome. Awesome question. I would say less is more. Less is more. Live your life as a less is more situation. Just do something. You don't have to do like an hour at the gym. You can literally do 10 minutes. Go home, do a full body 10-minute exercise in your crib, in the morning before you go to work. Take a shower afterwards and then go to work. That alone, just by doing these little small steps, will in time increase. So you don't have to go 0 to 100. You gotta take baby steps. Not just that, your body's probably, since you never worked out before, your body's gonna be shocked by it. So you're gonna have extreme soreness and all kinds of stuff happening. So just focus on the basic things, mobility, being able to squat, being able to do a push up, being able to do a sit up, basic stuff. And you don't have to do too much of it. It's very short and simple. But the consistency, that's what changes everything. The more you repeat it, you stay consistent. Every week you're putting in a certain amount uh, of exercising, then in time, you're going to naturally want to do more. And you're going to naturally progress. And that's what you want. You want baby steps to progression, which is healthier than 0 to 100. Instead of starting the gym, New Year's, new me, and then you go to the gym for an hour and 20 minutes, and then that's it, you're done. Your soreness is so extreme and painful, you ain't going back. That's a wrap. But if you do a 10-minute exercise at home, and then 1 month you're in doing this, you're like, all right, let me start going to the gym now. Go a little harder, and then you do 30 minutes or 20 minutes at the gym. You do that for a month, and then you progress and be like, okay, now I'm gonna go to 45 minutes. Now I'm gonna go to an hour at the gym. Now I'm gonna do some exercise at home and some exercise at the gym. I'm gonna do some exercise at home and at the gym, and some days I'm gonna go outside and exercise. So you have all these different variations that you could play with without overdoing, but slow, progressive steps.
You said you do online training,
Yeah.
right? Is there any way for people who are looking to want to train with you, where they could find you, how they could have access to either your email or your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever it is that you use to advertise yourself and your service.
Well, you can definitely reach me at mramosfitlife at gmail
mramosfitlife@gmail.
at gmail.com. And
Right.
you can also check out my Instagram at FitLife.
There you
And
go.
Ramos FitLife. So
Ramos Fitlife.
reach out to me there, and I'll be glad to assist.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can also just post a comment on this video. You could also email us at Learning the Process Podcast if you have any questions, or if you desire or require his services. So, and with that being said, I think we had a pretty interesting and informative podcast. Is there anything you want to let the audience know before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. This is first time we're doing a podcast. I'm not great at talking in front of audience. So as time passes, I would love for you guys to comment on how are we doing. How are we working out? Are we flowing better? Are our words are getting better? Are we expressing better? Because certain things I'm going to say that might not be as accurate, as I have it in my mind and how I'm gonna verbalize it. It's pretty tough. Even the fitness thing. Some things where I'm like, oh, how do I say this? And sometimes I get like writer's block where I want to say it a certain way, but it's just not coming out the right way. So what I would love is critique on how we're doing as far flowing. Because this is a process and it's gonna take time, and I'm hoping maybe 6 months from now, where me and him are like crushing it.
Well, the beauty of it is that we are going through the process in real time with you. You can see us starting from our first episode to our second episode and how we're evolving. And this is part of the process. This is our journey into the podcast sphere, So you are with us on this journey of us learning the process of building and creating an enjoyable podcast. It doesn't necessarily need to be successful. It's already successful in our minds because we did it. We're here, we're sitting here, we're having these conversations.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We're interacting. And this is what we wanted to show you, the audience, the listener, that this is part of the process. This is us taking those necessary steps to do these things that ultimately leads to the evidence that you're looking at right now, which is the process.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So with that being said, thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Leave us your comment, concerns, complaints, ideas, critiques. Here.
Constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism. That's right. Here, you're not going to hurt our feelings. We are beyond that emotional immaturity stage where you're going to offend us. As a matter of fact, we are opening ourselves up. We're being vulnerable for you. And the more you can help us, we can help you.
But nonetheless, bring some good vibes, y'all.
Absolutely. Always, always. Nothing but love. Yeah. Nothing but love. But constructive criticism is allowed.
All right.
So with that being said, thank you very much. And
welcome to Learning the Process.